Hey friends, let's talk about feedback. Not the squealy microphone kind, the kind that helps us grow as teachers, students, and humans. This video is all about how to give and receive feedback with grace, with a little humor, a lot of heart, and some strategy to keep it useful, not weird. One of the things I do when I'm stuck in imposter syndrome is, instead of obsessing over being perfect, try to frame the class with a little thing I call feeding forward. It's future focused. So the 5 things I run myself through are effort, that I show up ready to serve and get out of my own way, that I show up with enough energy, that I make sacrifices throughout the day that was going to get me ready to be in the seat of the teacher. Number 2, skill and knowledge set. Am I learning something every time I teach? Am I learning something outside of my class? Am I learning something when I'm practicing? Remember, as a teacher, every time we teach is an opportunity to learn, but only if we're asking feedback. Outside of that, we only have our practice and continuing education to continue to learn. Number 3, strategy. Did I plan effectively? And did I pivot when needed? 4, group dynamic. Did I read the vibe right? Did the room vibe with what I was bringing and offering? 5, did I enjoy it? If I'm not enjoying it, chances are they're not. Did they enjoy it? If they're not enjoying it, it's tough to enjoy it yourself. So ask yourself those 5 questions before each and every class. It's a great way to get out of your head when you're thinking, what gives me the right? I'm not worthy. I don't belong here. What am I doing here? Choices. I have feedback. Awesome. Lay it on me. I'm in the feedback mode. I'm in the feed forward mode. Lay it on me. Feed what now? Feed forward mode. Way less, what did I mess up? More, how can I grow? You know, more fun that way, less crying in the car later. Well, first off, you talk too much in Shavasana. I was like, stop narrating my nap. And that hip opener felt like a Cirque du Soleil audition. Oof. Okay. Can I ask, what did you feel in that Shavasana? I was just overstimulated. I wanted silence. I didn't know what to focus on. Got it. Sounds like a cue to silence ratio thing. Thanks. That's actually super helpful. Wait, are you okay? You're not mad, are you? Well, not every note has to be a dagger. That's just objective stuff, which is easier to take less personal. I didn't mean to make you, like, I don't know, spiral into like imposter syndrome or anything. Tempting, but no. I always ask myself 5 things after every class. Did I put in the effort? Did I use my skills? Was my strategy sound? How did the group respond? And did I have fun? Feedback should be like playing in a sandbox. Open, curious. Subjective feedback from peers and mentors is really important. The layperson, their subjective feedback is important, but it's probably not going to grow you in the same way because they probably don't have the same skills to language it in a specific way to really make sure that you are finding the nuts and bolts of not just what the problem was, but also the solution. The other piece of this is to make sure that when you're giving feedback, you're not putting the problem in between you and the person. Being careful of your language, making sure that you're not using you statements like, when you did Warrior 2, I didn't like it when you did this. Changing it to, my experience in Warrior 2 was a little off because I felt like the cues weren't clear and we held it too long. There, it's taking the teacher out of the equation. It's talking about the cues. It's talking about the time and duration. That's a great way of releasing the charge. Okay, let me try again. You had great voice control, like I actually relaxed when you said exhale. So maybe highlight that move. Now that's gold, specific, strength-based. I know how to lean into that. What would you suggest improving on? Well, maybe dial back the number of cues during slow movements, like let us just marinate a little bit. Boom! Strategy tweak. Love it. And consideration. Maybe check in with the students post-class. Like, gauge the vibe directly. Yes, you are a natural at this. What else? A natural? Usually I just blurt things out and people sometimes just shut down. Yeah, that's totally normal. If someone's in a stress response, feedback won't land. It's okay to say, want to pause and revisit it later. Can I do that at a family dinner? Like mid-dinner? Yes. Also works in traffic, Zoom meetings, dance battles. As a teacher, also know your why. Like, go hunt down students, ask them for feedback, but if you're just asking them, how was class? Especially the layperson is probably just going to give you a fine, that was great, and walk off, and maybe you'll see them again, maybe you won't. Get specific. What are you working on in class? And ask the student exactly that. Hey, what did you think of the new playlist? Hey, what did you think of my son B? Did you like the way that I added a twist after Utkatasana? These kinds of things, you'd be surprised how even a layperson can springboard them into giving you actually really valuable, specific feedback, which is what you want. When you're receiving the feedback, it's also important to understand what they're saying. It can be really easy to get your emotions in the way of understanding clearly what they mean. Saying something to somebody like, oh, I didn't really like the playlist, you can interpret that in your head very easily as, oh, this person thinks I have bad taste in music. When really maybe what they meant was there was one song that didn't really work for them in a specific section of class. So if you don't take the time to actually be brave enough to investigate with deeper probing questions, you won't get the specificity that you need to really make sure what they're talking about is clear or not. So go ahead and repeat the feedback to them. Say, I'm hearing you didn't like the playlist. What was it about the playlist you didn't like? That gives them a little bit more opportunity to speak specifically. Another way is to just respond about the content, not your feelings. To be like, well, I picked that song because I really think that the beats per minute is appropriate for a core section in class. That might not jive so much with what they're just trying to do as yoga and not be your personal life coach over here. So try it on. If it doesn't fit, don't use it. Not all feedback is important to take on, but try to receive and give feedback with grace by buttoning it up, bookmarking it all with appreciation. Just saying thank you. That's the best way to end it. Cool, cool, cool. But what if I want everyone to love me? We all do, but feedback is about learning, not approval. Okay, this was actually kind of like good, almost like therapeutic or whatever. Feedback is yoga too. It's a practice of connection and humility, for sure. Feedback is touchy subject matter. So remember that you're there to have a heart to heart, whether you're the receiver or the giver. And that's the way that the grace can get involved so that both people can learn. And in fact, that's when feedback really functions at a high level. So it's not a verdict, it's an invitation. Remember that. You can learn a lot if you're willing to be uncomfortable, and it's just a little bit. And lastly, you can lead better by listening better. So asking good questions, let people speak without interrupting, getting defensive. And this obviously extends to the feedback that I'm sure people are waiting to give you off the mat in your life. Okay, let's get some real-time reactions. So I got a feedback form from a community class that I taught recently where people filled out the answer to this question. How did the yoga help you personally or impact your training session? First one, loved this activity, exclamation mark. Okay, loved the movement after sitting all day long. Austin was great in leading us through yoga. Communicated very well for someone who doesn't do yoga. I do yoga. Oh, I see. They mean them. See what I mean? Pretty simple and basic. Yeah, it was. And that's what it's supposed to be. So, yoga was fun, but it was a lot awkward. It was a lot awkward. It's just like that sentence. I appreciated the opportunity to experience yoga with the group. I thought it was a great reminder of how important it is to take care of ourselves. While the session was for all levels, I wish there had been more instruction on what poses were. For example, Austin would say the name of the pose, but I didn't know what the pose was, as I don't do yoga often. Good. I really appreciate that feedback, actually. I did do the pose with them and gave them cues, but that's good. I'm not going to change what I do in the future, but at least they were descriptive. Group fitness didn't feed my soul as it isn't a high comfort level for me. Fair. Very good. Amazing! Exclamation point. Such an importance to physical movement that brings people together. Sales pitch wasn't fun. I did mention I was from Cambio, and if they ever want to do yoga, they know where to find us. Sales pitch. After doing the move, he should have walked around and showed or demonstrated the moves to us. I did both of those things. He just sat in front of the class and didn't really correct or teach anyone who was inexperienced with yoga. Did a good job of trying to teach to multiple skill levels. Awesome. That was fun! Exclamation point. Thank you! Exclamation point. You're welcome! Exclamation point. This was a wonderful moment of calm and introspection. This practice will help calm the anxiety and stress that drains precious energy. I would have preferred not to do the nap at the end. And then the last one here is fun. So this is example of feedback from people who are not experts that are all speaking subjectively, and basically the large majority of that feedback is not technical or instructional to making me that much of a better teacher. But through all of that, a large majority of it was positive, but it was all about them and their experience. Not a lot of it had to do with specific things that could make me a better teacher, or even specifically what I'm doing that was good, other than they just enjoyed it. So that's why it's so important with feedback to ask specific questions, to get in there about what it is you want to know about your teaching and what you're working on specifically at any given point. So if you want to grow faster in your teaching, you want less drama, ask better questions, reflect honestly, surround yourself with people who want you to win, but also are willing to learn with you. Comment below, what's one time feedback helped you level up or made you want to hide in a blanket for it? Remember, the thing is that there is no bad you at this. We're all continually learning. And if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and share with a fellow yogi, a teacher, or friend who's ready to grow with you in grace. See you in the next video. Thanks.